Hey everyone, thanks for clicking onto the video. Before we start things, I just want to say that we are currently on the road to 500 subscribers. So, in celebration of that, I'm going to be doing a free giveaway of one copy of WWE Battlegrounds on a console of your choice, whether it be a PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch or Xbox One. And all you have to do to enter it is simply click that subscribe button, tap the bell icon, and in the comment section leave the hashtag #that90swrestlingpodcast. And once we hit that magic number of 500 subscribers, I'll be doing the video to announce the winner. So, thanks for listening and please enjoy the video.
Bottles by the case, got the money, got the cake. Tell the DJ what to play. I'm a boss, get my way. All the fake ones get away. All the fake ones on my way. Why you in my...
Hello and welcome to that 90s Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, James Sunstall, and today I haven't got one special guest, but I've got two, because these two women, in my opinion, are your next Impact Wrestling Knockouts Tag Team Champions. We've got Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz. How you doing?
Hey, what's poppin'?
Oh, very good. How's your day been today?
It just started, so we're easy right now. We're cooling.
Yeah, just chilling
Cool.
right now.
Yeah. We Gucci right now.
It's always weird because every time I speak to guests from America, I always still get mixed up with the time zone difference. So even though it's, for example, 6:30 over here, it's still only 1:30 over there. So I still get a bit confused with the time difference.
Yeah, it's all good.
Cool. So I suppose we'll go back to the beginning. So I'll ask you first, Kira. So during your childhood, was you a fan of wrestling growing up?
Definitely. I started wrestling when I started watching wrestling. When I was 10. Me and my brother were watching with my dad, and then I'm the one that stayed with it. My brother lost interest after a while, like some people did, and I stayed with it. I stayed obsessed, and then I wanted to be a wrestler. I was like, one day I'm gonna be a wrestler, and look at me today.
And how did you get into your training? I think I read it right. It was Mr. Hughes who trained you. Was that right?
That is exactly right. I trained at WWA 4 in Atlanta, Georgia, under Mr. Hughes. It's now owned by AR Fox, but I trained under Mr. Hughes. And first getting into wrestling, I just kind of researched. I was like, how do you become a wrestler? So I Googled how to become a wrestler or train in schools, and literally WWA 4 was the first one to pop up because I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and it was 40 minutes from my house. So that's literally, I just Googled it and it was the first one to pop up, and it just so happened to be the best and the one that I stayed with. So that was a blessing.
Cool. And same question for you, Tasha. Was you a fan growing up? And how did you get into your training?
Yeah. So I've been a fan since I was 5 years old. So me and my cousin, we used to watch wrestling all the time. I'm a huge tomboy, so I didn't want to do anything that was girly or play with Barbie dolls or anything like that. I wanted to do everything that the guys were doing. So it was one day my cousin and my uncle, they were sitting in the TV and they were watching wrestling, but I didn't know what it was at the time. So I just sat down and I was watching it with them, and I instantly became addicted. And I will always ask my mother to growing up, I used to ask her to buy VCR tape so I can just record it on the TV every week, so I can just watch it as many times as I want to. So I became more addicted than my cousin was, and I ended up just sticking with it. And I told myself one day that I would want to become a professional wrestler, or at least stay within the sports industry, because I love just fitness and sports overall. In school, I did nothing but sports, so it was just my passion. So when I got older, when I got out of high school, I did a little bit of college, but I was still focused on wanting to be a professional wrestler. So I basically did the same thing like Kiera did. I Googled wrestling schools in my area, and I found one. But at the time when I got there, they were just shutting down, so I was kind of bummed out, and I had to wait a couple of years down the line because I didn't know where else to go. So, I found out there was another school in Nutley, and I got started there. And about a couple months while I was at that school, I did a Rip Rogers seminar, and I met Damian Adams and Deonna Purrazzo at the seminar. And from there, the rest was history, because I went with Damian Adams, trained with Damian Adams in Hackettstown, New Jersey. And I went and trained with Deonna, and here I am today because of those
Awesome.
two.
Cool. And Kiera, like, so you debuted in Impact in 2017, and pretty much straight away since you debuted, like, they pretty much pushed you near enough top of the Knockouts division. You were challenging Laurel Van Ness and Taya Valkyrie pretty much straight away. So it must have felt great, like, joining the new company, and also them, you know, giving you enough respect and like belief in you being able to hold yourself at the top of the card. So how did that feel for you when you debuted in Impact?
Oh man, it was crazy. I got signed, yes, in 2017, and then I debuted in 2018. So I debuted at the
That's
beginning
right.
of 2018, and
Yeah.
my first match, yeah, was a Knockouts title shot. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, like I guess, okay, let's do it. Like I just wanted to make sure that I did my job and I did it right, and I just wanted to show like there's a reason I'm here. There's a reason why I got put in this spot. There's a reason you guys called me and asked me, you know, to sign a contract. There's a reason for that. So I just wanted to prove that I was there for a reason, but I was definitely ready to prove myself and prove to everyone around me
Yeah.
that, you know, I was meant to be there and to be put against like big headers like Laura and Taya and then Tessa eventually. Like it was crazy. We had some great moments, especially in the beginning. Like just the first few months of my career with Impact was great, and you know, it just keeps growing strong. And now, literally, what, 4 years later, Knockouts tag titles. Oh my goodness! Like, woo! It's been a wild ride.
Cool. And it was similar for you, Tasha. Like you worked the indie scenes, and then you made your impact, I would say, in Ring of Honor. And while you was there, you was facing former knockout Angelina Love, and you was also facing Kelly Klein, like for the title. So similar to Kiera, really, like they trusted you to put you at the top of the card as well, like challenging for these titles. Oops, gone on mute.
Sorry about that. It's not my
It's
fault.
okay.
Having a career and between you know, working with Ring of Honor and NWA, doing some stuff with WWE NXT, and now being here in Impact, you know, to me, I felt like I was just kicking down a lot of doors, you know, especially, you know, someone like me who they never heard of, and I want to show them like who I am and why I call myself the Boricua Badass. So I basically didn't want to wait. I wanted to just force that to them. So that was just my thing going in, and yeah, you know, getting big opportunities like that, you know, it's just your confidence paying off itself. So that's just basically what it is for me.
Yeah, this girl definitely did not wait. She was at Impact show, regardless of the situation, wherever the city, the drive, the fly. Before she was signed, she was at shows, wanting to like prove like she wanted to be there, and she finally got the opportunity. Unfortunately, it had to be, you know, during this time, but I mean, it was a blessing in disguise for us.
Yeah.
Like for us to come together, for us to be on the indies together, and then to be put together as a tag team and it be really magical. Like it's awesome. It's such a good thing. Yep.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask, because, like you said, you were still working some programs. Obviously, the program with Sue Young and Rosemary and Ali, which was such a great program. And you,
The real.
and
By the way, don't ask.
and you, Tasha, like I said, you worked in the NWA, and two, funny enough, two former knockouts has actually just left off. Jimmy Jacobs, how you doing? But yeah, you just you let Marty Bell and Sienna's recently left there. So would you like to see them like turn up an Impact one day and perhaps some knockout tag matches between yourselves?
I mean, you know, these are former Impact, you know, alumni. You know, if they want to come through, it's not gonna be the same how they used to be when they was here. You know, it's a whole new flavor up in here. So they want to come through, they gotta come through, but they gotta come through us first.
They can come get it too.
They can all come get it. It doesn't matter. You know, formers, brand news, up and comings, like go ahead, come through, but you gotta come through us first. That's the first thing you gotta do. You ain't gonna be able to get through us.
Cool. And eventually you made your way to Impact, and like you said, you teamed up. So whose idea was it? Obviously, I think you mentioned the fact you knew each other on the indie scene. So when you came into the company, Tasha, and whose idea was it for you to start teaming up? Because obviously, up to now, it's been pretty successful, and obviously the tournament's coming up, which we'll speak about that pretty soon. But whose idea was it for the pairing?
I mean, I was on Kiera over here. You know, she had to use her voice in here. I would come and like she said before, I would just come and show up and try and hope for like, okay, I need you guys to see me. I need you guys to see me. But she's established here already. So it's just like she put her voice and letting people know, hey, listen, you really need to check this girl out. And on top of that, you need to put us together, because like putting us together is just like something you ain't never seen ever anywhere, like any company before. And she kept pushing that and pushing that and pushing that. And each time she pushed it, I would show my face at these shows that I'm not booked on, but I would just come because that was just my grind. That was my hustle. I would just show up just in case. And they kept seeing my face, and they were just like, you know, letting her know, all right, well, let's give it a shot. And I had a match with Kylie, not knowing that I was going to be offered a contract, not knowing I was going to come in here and be able to tag with Kiera. But the match after the match I had with Kylie, it was like this idea was just sitting in their heads because she kept pushing it. So it was just like, all right, well, let's give it a try. And I guess they didn't regret it, right? They didn't regret that idea.
Sure. And Kiera, you've been, like we said, you've been part of the company for a few years now, so you're one of the veterans of the knockout division, I suppose we can say. And how do you feel with the success that Impact Wrestling's had this year in 2020? Obviously, COVID's disrupted things a bit, but besides that, like the amount of hype for Slammiversary and Bound for Glory and the knockouts division, which in my opinion is the strongest, you know, women's division in all of wrestling at the minute. How do you feel like to see the success what Impact's had in 2020?
Oh man, I think like you said, the knockouts division is the hottest division. It's the best division. I feel like it's the most elite division, period. Like I feel like there's nobody that can compare to not only our different characters and our different personalities and our different levels that we're on, but as a unit, we're so strong. And I love saying that I'm a knockout. I love being proud. I'm so proud to be a knockout and to be in this locker room as long as I've been, because I've been through a few different locker rooms since I've started. And I feel like we definitely have a solid division right now, especially with the tag titles. Like we have enough girls now to establish a tag division, which is something that I didn't even think was gonna come back so soon, especially knowing like I watched TNA when I was a kid, and I remember the Knockouts tag titles, and I remember Madison and Gail and Tessmacher and Tara and the beautiful people winning the Knockouts titles, Taylor Wilde. Like I remember all these incredible women, you know, holding these titles, and now they want to bring them back because, you know, there's a lot of established teams in our division. And it just started with an idea. Like it literally just started with an idea. Like Tasha said, I pitched and I was just like, hoping for the best, but I made sure to stay persistent so that they could see how it was something I was serious about. Like, I knew like being on my own was something, you know, it was kind of on and off. Like being on my own was, I don't know, I feel like I just needed something or somebody to help give me some more like comfort or something. I feel like I got that in Tasha. Like I feel like she brought more out of me that I honestly wouldn't be able to bring out of myself, you know? So I feel like she honestly helped me. Like me pitching and her coming in, it was perfect timing, and we were a perfect match. And now I feel like nothing can stop us. Like I feel like nothing can stop us now.
Yep, and we've mentioned it, the Knockouts tag titles are coming back, and we're having the tournament, and it's backed by very popular demand. It's something the fans have been wanting for a while, and in my opinion, I said at the beginning of the interview, you're my personal favorite to win it. I think there's no stopping you. But you'll probably have the attitude that no one else will stop you. But if you had to say there's a team what you think will be your toughest opposition, who do you reckon that team will be?
We want to say nobody.
That's what I was thinking.
You know, we had a lot of tough matches so far. I mean, to me, I would say Taya and Rosemary.
Oh, definitely.
Just because Rosemary's trying her damnness to try and take us to the realm, or at least try to take me for the first time. I'm not going back to the realm.
You said you see it, and I'm not going back. Things don't happen well for me when I go down there. I'm like this now because I've been down there so many times. So no, we're not going back. She's definitely not going. So they're definitely because and now she has Taya as her Barbie gothic friend, and she's trying to get us to go down there. And I'm like, what? No.
Although she did offer me a ticket to Slamtown, I might visit there, but you know, it's
We'll
on the
see.
trip.
We'll see.
I'm not going to the ground. That's one place I'm not going for sure.
Cool. And for UK fans, they can watch Impact Wrestling on Free Sports every Wednesday at 10 o'clock. And make sure they do, because, like I said, got the Knockouts tag team tournament coming by, and something they don't want to miss. But I suppose we'll bring you to the last segment of the show. So it is called that 90s Wrestling Podcast. So we're going to transport you back to the 90s with some personality questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Cool. So we'll start with you, Kiera. Your favorite 90s movie?
Favorite 90s movie? Cinderella with Brandy and Whitney Houston.
All right. Cool. Same for you.
I think I'm early 2000s. Damn. That was 2000s. It's not even in the 90s.
That was the early 2000s.
That was 2000s. Man.
All right.
All right. My favorite movies from the 90s is Poetic Justice. It's my favorite movie of all time.
Nice.
It's my idol, Janet Jackson, in it. It has my other idol, Tupac, in it. So both of them in it. You know, I could watch that movie all day, every day for the rest of my life.
Great stuff. And your favorite 90s TV show?
Ooh, there's a lot of shows. I'm gonna have to say, for me, I'm gonna have to say Martin, because it's like one of my funniest.
I had Moose on a few weeks ago. I accidentally forgot to record the interview, so it never went out. But he had the exact same answer, Martin.
Yeah. Martin. Yep.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
And is that the same for you, Kiera, or you got a different one?
I was born in 94, so I was a kid.
All right.
I was always into cartoons, obviously, so I'm into like the old 90s cartoons. I love Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon was the ish in the 90s. Rugrats is my all-time favorite. All-time.
Ren and Stimpy.
Yep.
Oh, my God. Nickelodeon was just so good in the 90s.
Keenan and Kel. Don't forget Keenan and Kel.
Oh,
That was the best.
Man.
Who loves Orange Soda? Cool. I don't know if you are gamers, but your favorite 90s video game?
Oh man. Favorite 90s video game. Toe Jam and Earl for Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
I begged my mother to buy me a Sega Genesis just so I could play Toe Jam and Earl. Like, I like Sonic a lot. I like, Mario Brothers for like Nintendo and stuff, but Toe Jam and Earl was my ish. Like, I love that game.
Oh yeah, I think Mario for Nintendo was my favorite.
Yeah.
Cool. And we'll move it back to the wrestling. Your favorite 90s wrestler?
Triple H.
Yeah.
Triple H.
Triple H, that's it.
90s wrestler. Maybe The Rock.
Rock.
Yeah.
Cool. And you are now a tag team, and you're going for the Knockouts tag titles. So your favorite 90s tag team?
Favorite 90s tag team. Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna have to stay within the group. I'm gonna go with Road Dogg and Billy Gunn.
Oh, great choice.
I'm gonna take DX, so we're kind of in the same life.
You know what? I feel like we're like the new version of DX, because back in the 90s they didn't give two craps. Like, they did whatever the hell they want, and that's like how we are now. So it's like, you're gonna start seeing some uncensored stuff, or you're gonna be seeing like the censored signs on us now, because we're gonna be doing everything that we want to do. So yeah, the Generation X was a big influence. Definitely.
Cool. And last question, and it's the hardest. Your favorite 90s match?
Favorite 90s match? Oh, let's see. My favorite 90s match. I would have to say, dang, that's a good one. You're right.
It's a hard one.
Yeah, it's a lot, because you know what? It was so much. It was just so much. I feel like my favorite era is the 90s of wrestling.
Yeah.
Because it was just so much that went on that you probably couldn't even do today. So
Yeah.
I would have to leave that one blank, because there was so much. It was
Just
actually
wrestling in
wrestling.
the
It was just
90s,
wrestling
period.
in the 90s. So it's just like
Yeah.
everything you wanted to see now, it was in the 90s. So it's just like, oh man, yeah, I'm gonna have to leave that one blank for me, because I just loved wrestling in the 90s. So I can't even pick or specify a certain match that I would like just love. Like, everything was good for me.
It's fine. When this interview goes out and I tag you in it, I'll be sure to make sure I get a reply from you. Cool. So that's the end. So before we go, do you want to plug your social media to everyone where they can find you?
I am on Instagram at Hogan Knows Best 18. I'm on Twitter at Hogan Knows Best 3.
And I am on Instagram and Twitter at Real T Steelz, STEELZ. Don't forget the Z at the end. And I'm on Cameo too, so you guys
Yeah, I'm on
a shout
Cameo
out.
too.
We want a
cool.
shout out from us. Just hit
Yeah,
us
we'll
up
be
on
doing
Cameo.
cameos.
Yep.
We're together. We
Yep.
with some of the tag tourney.
Yep,
You know.
yep. Get your
You
cameos
know.
now. You know what I'm saying? Soon we're gonna be doing some more projects, so just look out for that. But the only way to find that out is you gotta follow us. You gotta follow us on social media to know what's going on with your future knockout tag champions.
Period.
Awesome. Cool. And that's a guarantee. And like I said, the UK fans, they can catch you every week on Free Sports, 10 p.m. every Wednesday. And be sure to do so because, like I said earlier, and you both said, you will be the next Impact Tag Team champion, Knockouts Tag Team champions. And I think that's pretty much a guarantee.
Yeah,
yes.
thanks.
Cool. Thanks very much, ladies. And hopefully we can do it again one day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.